Welcome back, villagers, to the Village Employee Connection podcast. Today, we're joined by someone who brings energy, creativity, and unforgettable experiences to our members every single day. I'm so excited to welcome Heather McManus, the Activities Director at Camelback Village. Heather, welcome. I'm so glad
Well,
you're with us.
thank you, Diana. It's a real pleasure being with you today and other villagers. Yeah,
Yes, I'm
thank
super
you.
excited to learn all about the activities at Camelback and your process. But let's kick things off and talk little bit about how long you've been at the village and kind of what's your how I ended up here story.
So I've been around Camelback Village about 30 some years. Yeah. I lived in Phoenix in the late 90s and was a member, and then moved to the East Coast for a few years and was hired as a cycle instructor 10 years ago. And then I've been in this position, it will be 8 years this fall. So I've been around a long time, around the block.
That's so amazing. And I thought I knew a lot about you, but I don't even think that I knew that you started as a cycle instructor. Now, take us a little bit back, talk about where you grew up and a little bit about your background and yourself.
Well, Reader's Digest version. I I was born in Tucson. I'm a Arizona native. However, my family, mom and dad, were from Iowa. So when I was 1 year old, they went back to Iowa and they loved Tucson. So when dad got out of dental school and could make it happen, they moved back to Tucson. However, I was a junior in high school, and that, pretty much wasn't very fun for me to move as a junior in high school. But, that you get over those things. And I went to U of A, University of Arizona after, and love Arizona, and they're still down there.
Can you tell us a little bit about like your don't get me started passion?
Oh my. Well, I think my passion is definitely Arizona, and took that to the next level when a group of girlfriends and actually a few members too, we hiked the Arizona Trail.
Oh, wow.
We hiked. It's a trail that starts at the Arizona Mexico border near Sierra Vista, and it's 800 and some miles, and it goes all the way to the Utah border. And it's a trail that is broken into sections. And it took us a year and a half. We didn't do it a through hike. Like some people can do a through hike in like 5 or 6 weeks.
Whoa.
But we broke it up into sections. We did backpacking, we did day hikes. And I saw parts of Arizona that I never knew existed. And we filtered water out of horse troughs. We, ran across snakes, other wildlife. I tell you, there's so many mountains in Arizona. It is not flat, and
Right.
a lot of elevation, and just a wonderful experience.
Right. And I feel like people that, especially I'm from the Midwest, and some people from the Midwest don't even understand how beautiful our state is, how many mountains there are, and how many places there are to explore. Did you say how many miles that was? How many miles was that overall?
It was 800. I'm looking at my poster, 830 miles.
Wow.
And we have some statistics. It took us 59 days of hiking, but you have to drive to the trailheads, and you have to park a car because you're going north or south. 15,000 miles of driving to trailheads.
I thought you guys got a news clip on that, or you were featured in a magazine. What was?
Yeah, we did get some publicity because here are like, mid-50s women that, attempted this. And we call ourselves the Mountain Mamas. And we had a lot of friends pop in and out, join us for day hikes or an overnight backpacking whenever people could join us. We loved it.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's was quite the experience.
My next question, I was going to ask you about a moment that really shaped who you are today. I'm sure that there were many moments in that experience, but is there
Yeah.
something you want to talk about, that like a moment in your life that truly helped shape who you are today?
Uh, uh, I would have to say, and I don't want to get too deep on you. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I did lose my husband 17 years ago. It'll be 18 years this fall. He died of liver disease and made me, I was a single mom. My daughter was just 8 at the time. And it made me realize how short life is and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you have to, when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next year. I don't do that anymore. If I have an opportunity and see something fun, it's like I'll grab some people and let's go do it. Let's do it now. You know, you got to seize that moment. So I
I
think that's single-handedly one of the biggest impacts on my life.
I can't imagine how hard that was for you and your daughter, but I will tell you, the moments I've spent with you, you are such a positive person, and that
Mm,
probably truly did, in fact, shape who you are today, because you do take the bull by the horns and you do live life to the fullest. You're always smiling and your energy
mm.
is so good.
Oh, thank you.
I'm getting teary-eyed, but
Oh, you are. Oh, that's
that
sweet.
truly is something we all should be reminded of, to
Yeah,
do the things we want to do now, because one never knows. I
right.
love that, Heather. Thank you for being a
Oh,
bit vulnerable with us. I really
it,
love that. Let's talk a little bit about now what you do at the village, because being the activities director, I feel like people don't really know all the work that goes into these activities and these events. So,
yeah.
just basically for people that don't know, what does the activities department actually handle at the club?
How I see the activities department is coordinating all the other departments um, and scheduling and keeping everybody so we don't overlap. We had a big tennis tournament last weekend. We didn't want any other events going on that weekend. I do have, okay, the member parties are part of the responsibilities, the socials, the basketball, racquetball, squash, pickleball, junior basketball, uh, let's say mahjong, Spanish, chess, you name it, golf. There are all these other responsibilities. However, what you can do is just you get member feedback and they're like, oh, the way we put the kids aquatics classes together was people were like, hey, we'd love to be in a group or have our kids in a group swimming. Then it'd be, we could have it planned out each week and we put that together for the different levels. And so you just kind of see what members are looking for.
What do you love about your job as the activities director?
When I see a member, like this one member, Howard, met Mike at a social. And he asked me about Mike. He's like, I would love to see Mike again. I had the best conversation with him. He's from Illinois, you know. And then they were both at the member party. I said, Howard, Mike's right here. And they started talking. And now I see him hanging out in the cafe.
That's wonderful.
Um, and then another example is like for our Camino trip a couple of years ago, one of the ladies, she's in her 80s. And she was really
Wow.
nervous about attempting 100 kilometers on this walk. And I walked with her, and we were sometimes the slowest twosome of the group, but she made it. Yeah, she
Oh,
made it to Camino Santiago. And when I see her at the club, she's like, "We made it," and it just warms my heart. And it's probably the most satisfying part of the job.
connecting members with each
Yeah,
other and
right,
really making a difference in their life. And I'm sure
right.
you see how satisfied they are with their accomplishments. Let's talk about a little bit on the flip side, what keeps you on your toes or what challenges you the most as the activities director.
Well, as I said, one of the favorite parts of my job is the members. And one of the most challenging parts of my job is the members.
Yeah.
Um, but I find a lot of members just want to be heard. I see a lot of, especially after COVID, a lot of people are just looking to be heard, to connect. And
Yes.
you listen and you do the best you can to make them
We
happy.
know that your events don't just like poof magically happen. So
Yeah.
I would like to know what goes into putting on one of your bigger events, because I know at Camelback you have a ton of participation for the big parties. So
Yeah.
can you choose like one of those big parties and take us through all the things that you must coordinate to make it
Mm.
happen?
Well, the only way these big parties come off successfully is because all the managers are involved. Every single manager helps out, and there's no way I could do it on my own. I mean, these start like they start at the beginning of the year. We started
Yeah.
planning. We've already got our year set up, but once you have a theme, once you have the entertainment, food is always an issue. Feeding 800 people
Right.
um, is a challenge. But one party was a blast. We had like the waitress. She was hanging from a rope and she was pouring
Oh my
champagne in
gosh.
glasses, and we had fire twirlers, and we had a lady walking around with a big snake.
Oh
Um,
my
you
God.
know, yeah, just doing fun things like that. But I have gotten feedback. I think a lot of us managers have gotten feedback that members like to dance. And so they
Okay.
like live bands. They love, 80s, 90s music, that everybody's just out there
I
rocking.
think what we can take away from this is that these events that you put on start at the beginning of the year because you plan your calendar. It
Right.
requires the help and assistance from everyone at the club. Along the lines of like teamwork in your events, you know that our mission is creating meaningful experience for our members. And so how do your events bring that to life?
Well, what's fun is there's my very first Camino group. So this will be the fifth year of me taking people on the Camino route. So there's close to 100,
Wow.
110 members that have gone on this walk. And the first group, they usually ask me to reserve a table at the party, and they use it as like a little reunion. Yeah.
Do you plan to do the Camino this year again?
Yes. This
Okay.
this will this will probably be the last time on this route. I'd like to do a
Yes.
different route,
So
but
a lot of people don't know what that is. Can you tell people what that experience is about?
so the Camino, it's Camino de Santiago, and in the I don't know, maybe 1200, 1300s, there was a Saint James, and he was found. He's in the big cathedral. Okay, I'm not super religious, but I love it because there are all these routes that come to the northwest corner of Spain. One starts in France, one starts in Italy, one starts in Portugal, the one we do. Two start in Spain. There's 7 routes that
Wow.
go all congregate. So if you think about these pilgrims, like in the 1600s, in their wool and their bare feet walking these paths, they didn't have the Gore-Tex, they didn't have the nice soled shoes that we have, or the raincoats, that they're walking to see St. James's body in this huge cathedral. So when I interviewed with Carol for this position, she had just gotten back from the Camino, her first one, and she was telling me about it. I was like, I'm taking the members on this. They would love it. And they have.
In your department, tell me some things you would like every employee to know about your department, and a little bit about what employees can do to support you.
I would like other employees to know there is a lot of background stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think they see how fun the parties are, how fun the end result is. I had another employee one year go, "Hey, are you coming to the member party on Friday?"
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. You're like, don't what party?
Yeah. I kind of looked at him like, yeah, I should be there, but people just don't know. Everybody's doing their own thing. But what I find is when people volunteer
Yes.
to help at the parties, we find some way to, help to thank them, and they have a great time. Like, I have people all the time, asking me what I do, and I love talking about it, and I love, sharing it, and our housekeeping is always, volunteering to help with the parties. Youth services help. Everybody pitches in.
Right.
So,
And I think
maintenance.
it's an important thing for people to understand, because I do a few events that are on a much smaller scale, but I feel like people don't understand oftentimes all the work and the planning that goes
Mhm.
into these events. And it's
Mhm.
months of work sometimes. It's not
Right.
just, you just don't pull together one of these big parties overnight. So I'm sure
Right.
you get
Right.
a lot of support from
Oh,
everyone here at Camelback.
everyone.
But
Exactly.
juggling all of that, I would like to know your go-to tips for staying organized and on top of it all. Do you have any process in place? How do you keep
Mm.
track of everything, Heather?
Well, I think it's a work in progress. Have you seen my office?
Not lately. Okay, you're gonna have to take a picture of your office and send it to me so I can put it in the podcast.
Okay.
Heather, you've been here now for 8 years, so why don't you share with us something that you've learned at the village that's really stuck with you?
Oh, what's stuck with me is it is possible to enjoy your job and have fun. I know that's a village motto, and I don't want to, paraphrase, but it is possible to really enjoy your job and look forward to coming in to work. And one of my swim instructors told me a couple months ago that the village is her happy place when she comes to work with the kids
Wow.
and teach the swim lessons. Yeah. Um, so yeah, it is possible to enjoy your job.
This month's village standard is "We are the very best face of the village." How does your team bring that to life?
Oh, wow. Well, I have 13, believe it or not, people under me. And I think a lot of other employees don't realize that. How
Right.
I have 8 swim instructors, a swim coach, another swim coach I'm bringing on, a chess instructor, basketball person, a fencing person, a squash person. So that all report to me. And so they I send them every month what's going on at the club. We do those monthly flyers so they know what's
Okay.
going on. If they get any questions, and I try to recognize them on their birthdays, do something fun, and yeah, we get together, team meetings. Well, we do the
Yes.
frontline training. We use those
Yes.
as team meetings. Yeah.
Very
So,
nice.
how do they put the best face forward? They just have fun doing their jobs too.
How do you take advantage of what the club has to offer for your own wellness? What are you involved with, and what's some of your passions in terms of, I know hiking is, but what are some other passions to keep your wellness at the level you need to keep it at?
Well, with hiking, I've got a hip, well, not problem, but just it's really sore,
Got it. Hitch
Even
and you're
these
giddy up.
49-year-old hips get right. But so I do the fascial stretch uh,
Oh,
every couple of weeks. Love that. I do the hot yoga whenever I can. I love the strength classes. I had a personal trainer. Love that when she has openings. There's just so many things. I love our programming. Yeah.
oh yeah.
So yeah, doing well, and I've learned so much through the workshops we've had. Yeah.
So if somebody is listening and thinking about growing their career here at the village, what would you tell them, or what advice would you give?
Get involved. Um, Go if you're interested in activities, call me up. I'd be
Oh,
really happy to talk to you about it, and I'll put you to work. And um, I think that's how you learn, by just participating. Just be involved. Yeah. And go to the workshops, meet members, meet other employees. It's
yeah,
just yeah, there's a lot to take advantage of.
there sure
And
is. I want to thank you for being on the podcast, but to wrap us up, why don't you leave us with a quote or mantra that you live by?
it definitely, I alluded to it earlier.
Okay.
Carpe diem,
Yep.
seize the day, seize the moment,
Yes.
make it happen.
Amen
Yeah.
to that. Thanks so much
Amen.
for being my guest.
Oh,
I had so
thank
much fun
you.
with you today, Heather. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana. I appreciate it.
Just move on.